Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate. Dear brothers and respected friends, first of all, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all of you for attending this gathering. Your presence is valuable because a gathering becomes meaningful through a participation of its people. By coming here, you have become part of this blessed assembly and shared in its spiritual atmosphere. We all know why we come to such gathering. Perhaps it is difficult to explain fully in words, but our hearts understand it well. The peace, tranquility, light, and spiritual comfort that we experience here are signs of the blessing that Allah grants through these gatherings. Matters of the heart are often understood by the heart itself and cannot always be described through language. The important question, however, is this: how can we preserve these blessings, this light, and this spiritual connection after leaving this gathering? After many years of observation and experience, I have found one practical solution: establish a routine and follow a timetable. A disciplined routine is one of the greatest means of preserving spiritual growth. Without organization, many good intentions fade away. With a proper schedule, however, a person can maintain consistency and continue benefiting from the blessing received in gathering of remembrance and knowledge. Every person has worldly responsibilities. Allah has created this world in such a way that happiness and difficulties both come and go. We have responsibilities toward earning a lawful livelihood, caring for our families, fulfilling the rights of parents, spouses, children, relatives, and neighbors. These duties are important and must not be neglected. Therefore, every believer should organize his life according to a balanced timetable. During working hours, one should focus on work, business, study, and other lawful responsibilities while keeping the remembrance of Allah alive within the heart. At the same time, a believer should reserve dedicated time for spiritual and religious development. A proper daily routine should include the first Salah, namaz. The five daily prayers already have their appointed time established by Allah. These times should form the foundation of every Muslim's schedule. The second is recitation of the Quran. Every believer should dedicate a portion of day to the recitation of the Holy Quran. Even a small but consistent amount is better than occasional large efforts. The third is understanding the Quran. The purpose of the Quran is not merely recitation but also understanding and reflecting. Therefore, time should be reserved for studying its translation and authentic explanation from trustworthy scholars of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. In our own studies, we have relied upon the classical commentary Zadul Masir by the great scholar Imam Ibn al-Jawzi rahmatullahi alayhi. The goal is not personal interpretation, but transmitting the understanding of the scholars who preserved the teaching of Islam throughout the countries. The fourth is daily dhikr, remembrance of Allah. Our spiritual path is the noble Naqshbandi tradition, which emphasizes the remembrance of Allah through the heart. A believer should remember Allah throughout the day, even while engaged in worldly activities. However, in addition to continuous remembrance, a specific period should be reserved daily for focused dhikr, whether 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or more according to one's ability. Consistency is the key to spiritual progress. The fifth is study of Islamic creed, Aqidah. Protecting one's faith is among the greatest obligations. Every Muslim should dedicate time to learning the beliefs of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, particularly through the teachings of the Ash'ari and Maturidi scholars who preserved orthodox Sunni theology. In a time when confusion and misinformation are widespread, sound knowledge of creed safeguards a believer's faith. The sixth is study of fiqh, Islamic jurisprudence. Fiqh teaches us how to practice Islam correctly in daily life. It explains the ruling related to prayer, fasting, zakah, business transactions, family matters, social dealings, and all practical aspects of life. For those living in regions where the Hanafi school is traditionally followed, studying Hanafi jurisprudence provides a structured and reliable understanding of Islamic law. And the seventh is beneficial or religious knowledge. Alongside the essential sciences, believers should dedicate time to learning from authentic scholars, listening to beneficial lectures, reading Islamic literature, and increasing their understanding of the religion. Dear brothers, spiritual growth does not happen by accident. Just as worldly success requires planning and discipline, religious and spiritual success also requires organization and consistency. Therefore, every believer should establish a daily routine, a weekly routine, a monthly routine. Within these schedules, time should be reserved for Salah, Qur'an recitation, Qur'an translation and Tafsir, Dhikr of Allah, study of Aqidah, study of Fiqh, beneficial Islamic learning. Through consistency in these practices, a believer preserves the light of faith, strengthens his connections with Allah, and continues progressing on the path of spiritual excellence. May Allah Almighty grant us sincerity, consistency, and steadfastness upon His path. May He fill our hearts with His remembrance.